had this strange Cypriot, I don't know, English accent, but it was a very strange accent. So I was trying then to get my American accent, which wasn't very good. But I did lots of plays, and I ended up getting a scholarship at the drama. And actually, what was fun is like, my friends are gonna watch that. My friends are gonna watch that. Oh, disgusting! And actually, what's fun is my nephew in Cyprus was watching the film, and he was absolutely. And then when the kiss came, he went, "Oh, I don't like this movie." And left.
I'm Farah Shammas. Welcome to Hotel Talk. We hope you enjoy listening to this friendly conversation between people connected by real life in hotels. Everyone, I'm so excited to have this Hotel Talk today with none other than Agni Scott. I think most of the world by now has seen her in what is the #1 movie at the moment for the last 3 or is it 4 weeks now on Netflix, Find Me Falling with Harry Connick Jr. Agni is the, can I say, lead actress, main supporting actor. There's everything, whatever you say, I think in this thing is wrong. But you are the main female role, and it was absolutely just amazing to watch it. So Agni, first of all, thank you so much for joining us all the way from the UK over Zoom.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. It's so lovely to be here with you and to meet you. Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited. So I want to start, first of all, by congratulating you on this really beautiful movie. I think the fact that it's been #1 on Netflix for the past month is really a testament to what people need at this time. People don't want any more horror. They want lighter stories of hope, of love, of goodness. They want to smile, they want to feel good. And I think this movie really encapsulates all of that, and just leaves us with this feeling of peace and love and just good vibes. So why don't we start by telling us a little bit about you, where you grew up and how you became an actress?
Yeah, well, I grew up in Larnaca, in Cyprus, and at 18, I went to the States, and I wanted to go to the States because I didn't know what I wanted to study, and they had these liberal art degrees, and I could spend a year exploring different things, which is what I did. I took sociology, psychology, geology. I mean, I took philosophy. I took every possible subject. It was really thrilling. And I took an intro to acting course as well. And while I did that, I thought, oh, this is so much fun. And I remember the first play they were doing while I was there was Fiddler on the Roof. And I went and I auditioned for it, and I was in the chorus. And there I went to America, and I had this strange Cypriot, I don't know, English accent, but it was a very strange accent. So I was trying then to get my American accent, which wasn't very good. But I did lots of plays, and I ended up getting a scholarship at the drama department there. So I was in Miami for 4 years at FIU. And I was there for 4 years, did acting. And then I went off to Brandeis, and I had a 3-year scholarship to do the MFA in acting there. My dad jokes actually and says, God, you could have been a doctor all these years studying to be an actor. So that was it. And I lived in New York for a year. I had an agent. I did lots of plays. And I met my husband, who's English, Scott Hanley, and ended up coming to Europe. It was that thing, got my first job, and then became an actor in a way.
Amazing. And what's your maiden name then? Because obviously then you became Agni Scott, but your full name?
My full name is Agni Tsangaridou. Tsangaridou was my maiden. And I did my first film, which was The Hamburg Cell, and it was about September the 11th. It was Channel 4 and HBO, and I played the lead, who was the Turkish girlfriend of Ziya Jara, who flew the planes. The United 93 flight that they dropped, that was going to Capital. So I played the Turkish girlfriend who had no idea she was studying in Germany to be a dentist. And this wonderful director, the late Antonia Bird, she passed away 10 years ago now, but we went to festivals with the film. We went to Edinburgh Festival, and she couldn't introduce me. After working with her for 6 months, she would go, Agni Sangaridu. So she couldn't say my name. And then we were having dinner one night, and she said, I think it would help you if you changed your second name, because you have two slightly unique names. If you change your surname, it would be Scott is Scott Handy. She said Agni Handy doesn't have a good swing to it. How about Agni Scott? And that was it. That was the beginning. In 2004.
That's amazing. The reason I ask, we have Dimitra George, who's a Grammy nominee soprano singer, who's a very dear friend and an amazing lady who's Greek origin, married to a Turkish Cypriot, living in the States. And she's a guest of the hotel, and she's been on Hotel Talk. And when I interviewed her, I said, if there's one advice you'd give your younger self, and she was like, without a shadow of a doubt, change my name earlier. She struggled with her Greek name for years, and she said no one could pronounce it. It was a disaster. She was in beauty pageants singing, and she said, and then finally George also was her dad's name, so she went with that. And again, Dimitra wasn't easy in itself, but she was like Dimitra George, everybody could say it. And yes, it is funny with the I remember that from university when we were all graduating, and there would suddenly be Harry's, no, Dimitri's, and they just couldn't manage the last names.
Yes, swallow. That's just
yeah.
I know. At the graduation at university, it was like an Agni Samaridou.
Yeah, and it just mellows into. Brilliant. So what's been the favorite part of your job as I always say actress, but we should say actor now, shouldn't we?
Well, I say actress. I don't mind, actually.
Yeah.
I don't mind. I don't mind. I'm an actress.
Yeah, it's one of the new things. So, what's your favorite part of the job?
Oh, my favorite part of the job is when you book a job and you're waiting to do the job, and you feel, yes, that feeling of I'm employed, I have a job to go to. Because being in this profession where it is so uncertain, and you finish one job and then suddenly you're unemployed and you don't know for how long. So that feeling that you've just booked a job, and I'm thinking, that is
that's the best. So the opposite then, what's the worst part is that you're not employed full time. The one negates the other.
So, but also, normally you are working with wonderful people, and I can't remember a time when I was on set and I didn't make friends. Every time, because it's such an intimate profession. And when you work with people, you're with them for a certain amount of time, quite an intense period of time. You work with them, you live with them. Normally you're in a hotel somewhere, so you're sharing everything. So you get to meet people on a very personal level very quickly. So you become friends, and there's no chit chat, there's no light things. It's just you're straight into the core of things, and you connect. It's that human connection, for me, is so incredible to have that in every job, and to create something, to take risks and play. I mean, we are playing, pretending, and we're playing, and we're getting paid for that, which is amazing. And then, so when we are working, it's the best job in the world, really. And then it comes with the uncertainties and that thing of, oh God, I've done a film on Netflix, and it's the #1 film on Netflix, and I have no job. wow.
And then what are you going to do to follow up that? I mean, that's a huge, because it's huge. It's #1 on Netflix. I mean, when I spoke to Stellana, she was like, fingers crossed we make top 10. And she was like referring to Cyprus, not like the world and, #1. And so, yeah, it's amazing. But on the other hand, where do you go from there?
I don't think it's #1 anymore. I think they've released, I'm not sure if it's #1 anymore.
It was last week. I haven't checked this week. Yeah.
It was #1 though, which is very unusual to be #1 for 2 consecutive weeks. I mean, it is.
I think it was the third week, 3 weeks.
Wow. For 3 weeks. It doesn't
3
happen.
weeks.
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often. I mean, it really doesn't.
No, not at all.
So that was well, that's the exciting thing. The exciting thing is I don't know. Well, I do know. I'm in that lovely place of actually, I do have a job to go to, which is great.
What is the next job? Can you tell us?
Which is very different. It's an independent film, and it's very early stages, but I will be in Athens, and it's about refugees.
Yay. Okay.
It's about refugees from what happens to refugees in Athens, and I'm playing a journalist who is documenting violence within in the refugee families, or who is registered, who is not, but also, if you are gay and you're from Afghanistan, you have to leave. I mean, it deals with these issues. So it's a very different film, which is great.
So why am I getting the feeling that you always pick, I don't want to say harrowing, but quite emotionally challenging movies and roles?
I don't know if that's the case, though. I mean, I didn't think Find Me Falling was very harrowing.
Definitely, that was not harrowing, but it was definitely quite very emotional and touching. So that was not. But you said, I mean, and not in a bad way. I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, literally that they're quite difficult roles to play, but quite important in that they highlight, some massive events that happen worldwide, whether that's refugees, whether that's terrorism, love, obviously. I won't say about Find Me Falling, but yeah. I mean, do those roles speak to you a lot? Maybe being from Cyprus, obviously your mum was from Famagusta region, which is now occupied, and then you've moved country. Like that in itself is, a big thing.
I mean, the reality is you'll get an offer, or you'll get this was an offer, but you audition for something, and you don't know what you'll audition for until you read something. So at the moment, your only power is to read something and go, do I like this or I don't? So my only power is to say, no, I don't want to do something. So it's what comes, what's available.
Yeah, what comes, what's meant to be.
What's available to you, and then you have a choice. Do I want to do this, or do I? And yet, sometimes you want to do something, but you don't get it. You're
of course.
So there is that. Or the amazing thing is when you do get an offer on something, and it's wonderful. But yeah, doing human. I mean, I think the nice thing of being in this profession is to do these things that are, one is to understand human nature, why people do certain things and how people behave.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, how could someone, how do people behave? And people are very different to us, and try to explore that thing. It is very exciting to be able to live in a different situation. And sometimes, I mean, it's not by choice. You are born in a place. It's not by choice. You're born into the world. The world will influence you. And it's the same in film. So I'm always the same person playing different roles, but it's always me. They always come from me. But I'm in a different world, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you are.
And then it's exploring that.
Yeah. it's
And
exploring
having
that.
the empathy. And
Yeah.
And I think that's the most powerful parts of movies, is that they really highlight different situations, and the more we can empathize with people, the more we can, let's say, forgive them, forgive ourselves, understand, and just be kind. And the world definitely needs to be kinder, that's for sure. So what's been the biggest challenge of your career, or biggest hurdles you've had to overcome?
Well, I think, because trying to survive, I think, in this profession is tough.
Miracle on its own. It is a
The
tough career.
it's a tough career, and there were times in my life that I thought, God, am I going to work again? And you try, and then you have children along the way. And I have to say, I always wanted to have children, so I knew I wanted to have children. But there was that fear that, oh God, my career. I was doing very high profile TV at the time, and actually my son was born, and then I was doing Spooks, which was huge here. I don't know if it's in
I'd heard of it, yeah.
series. So I was doing that, and then I got pregnant, and then I did the Shadow Line. So I worked with Chiwetel Ejiofor. I did this really high profile TVs, and then you get pregnant again and think, oh God, I'm unavailable for that. Am I ever going to work again? But I think things happen, and you need a bit of luck, and I think you just have to go with the flow in this. And if you manage to keep the faith and keep belief and finding things to earn money, finding ways to survive, and I've been lucky because it's both of us, and we're a couple, and one of us would work and the other one, and we've been very fortunate in that we have managed to survive being actors. But in the lockdown, I did train to be a yoga teacher, because I did so much yoga, and I enjoyed it, and I was going for runs, and I wanted to train. I always wanted to train, and I didn't do it. And it was the lockdown. I thought, I must do the things that I want to do. So I'm now also a qualified yoga teacher. I love
it. Plan B.
Yeah, plan B. But I do have a few friends who come on a Sunday morning. We do yoga, and then we have toast and coffee and lots of chat.
Oh, how nice. Well, I'm not in the UK, but if you ever do it online, let us know and we'll be there.
I did a bit online, but it's so much nicer to do it face to face. So yes, that's the thing. But I've been very fortunate to manage to survive from between me and Scott through being actors, and somehow we survived. So we're still in it. We're still in the game.
I love it. It's brilliant. And long may it continue. So I was going to ask you about motherhood, but you have already touched on this now. How was it bringing up children? Because acting is definitely not a regular job, not just, which you've mentioned, roles come and go, but you're filming on site that might be, thousands of miles away, and you're gone for a while. How was that with children? Because it's not like you wake up and you'd go to an office 9 to 5. You'd be away for chunks of their childhood. So how did you manage to balance that, and how did they find that growing up with certain periods without their mummy around?
I mean, it was challenging. And I found I found the guilt and the stress that I had major anxiety. I remember, when I was doing Spooks, so I started filming when Leo was 3 months old, and I was breastfeeding him. The great thing is what we were filming in London, and I lived in London, but I had to have these 2 breast pumps. So every time do I have 20 minutes? I would go, and Scott would bring Leo on set, in the breaks. And I have to say, at the beginning, when they were just babies, when Leo was I was very stressed. And Scott was going, don't worry, concentrate on that. I'm with Leo. It's going to be fine.
Oh, how sweet.
And I had that support, and it was great. Before they went to school, actually, I mean, Leo traveled with me. So I was very lucky that my mother from Cyprus would come and help. So I was when we were doing House of Saddam, we were in Tunisia for the whole summer. So first, Scott came out with Leo, because when they're babies, they can travel with you. So he was there, which was great, because we were in an amazing hotel, and I would go off filming, but at least most of the time I would be around, so we could be together as a family. And then my mother, when Scott was working, then my mother came with Leo, so she was there with me. So when they were little, they used to come with me. Then when the schools got involved, when they went to school, it was more complicated. And I was very lucky that my mother would always drop everything and come to the rescue if I was away, and she would come. And then we had to get au pairs. So we always, when the kids were in primary school, we would have, we had these lovely au pairs from the Czech Republic. We had, Slovakia, and they're still friends. They lived with us. And they have this lovely relationship with the children, and at least, there was someone around. And so the logistics became not so complicated. But I found it harder for me emotionally when there were babies it's like to give control to someone else, because I thought, no, it's my baby. I need to.
I think every mother, I'm laughing. My husband hears this, he'll be like, yeah, no, I don't know that feeling, Agni. No, I don't know what you're talking about. Definitely. You're like even panicked if they're eating at the right time, if they had their nap, especially with the first one. I think the second one, you're a little bit more like, okay, go with the flow. But the first, I remember panicking if she was like 2 minutes late for a nap. I thought the whole world was gonna,
I think I was a bit of a control freak, I have to say. And also then, because if I wasn't able to do it, I was trying to micromanage someone else doing it. I don't think my husband enjoyed my company very much at that time, or I think he found me a bit difficult.
I'm sure you were lovely. I'm sure it's all in your head, my dear. I'm sure you're very relaxed. So let's talk about Find Me Falling, your most recent movie that was being made in Cyprus. I love it because I have so many friends who've seen this, that aren't Cypriot or based here. And they're like, oh, we want to go to like the set. And I'm like, oh, it's not in one place. But let's talk a bit about the set. I put this nice background behind me for the zoom of the sea and cliffs. So it was filmed mainly in Coral Bay area in Paphos.
It was kind of Beja, in Beja
area, yeah. Sorry, not Coral Bay, in Beja area, yeah, but close to there. And then parts in Nicosia. And just tell us a little bit about the sets. Tell us if somebody wants to come and walk the steps that you guys did in the movie, where they should go and what you loved about the scenery.
Yeah. Well, that little house was built specifically for the film. And because the cliff in Beja is a protected side, so they had to build it and then take it away. And I don't know if it was sold, actually, but it was up for sale, that little house. And I thought, oh, if I had a little bit of land on a cliff in Cyprus, I would definitely buy. That little house is perfect.
But I'm sure even to put anywhere on a piece of land, it was a very cute house.
It's a very cute house, yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have a piece of land in Cyprus to put it on, but maybe one day. But yes, so the cliff is in Beja. And what's funny is that you walk from Beja and you go to the house, You see me leaving the house and then walking to the house. So my house is in Kaimakli in Nicosia. And then when he goes for a swim, so he goes down the cliff to go for a swim, that sea there is in Protaras. It's a Paralimni area.
Completely the other side of the island, for those of you who don't know. Yeah.
That's the magic of film.
Yeah.
The church was in Paphos. Where was the church? I forgot where the church was, but it was in the same, in Paphos at least, in the same. But yeah, so all this, and the hospital is the old hospital in Larnaca where I worked. Yeah, and it's
I like it because a little bit of Cyprus is in the movie, and that is what is amazing, and it really encapsulates all it is beautiful and lovely in Cyprus. And I always say this to people because obviously I'm in tourism and I love promoting this island, but I genuinely love it. And we're the third largest island in the Mediterranean, for those of you who don't know, but we have something for everyone. It's not the same. Even the people are slightly different, whether it's in Larnaca, Limassol, Nicosia, Paphos, Prodaras, the sea is different. The feeling of the town is different, and they're all beautiful, but it's just different. And you can be based in one place and in a week explore everything, go skiing in the mountains, go to the beach, have different sea, and it's just magical. I love it.
It is incredible, actually, that you can go skiing and then you can go for a swim.
Yeah.
On the same day, within a couple of hours, you could go skiing to swimming. It is quite an incredible island. I think there are some beautiful areas, and it's worth going to, the Beja, going to Akamas Peninsula, going in there, exploring, and then exploring the sea in Protaras and Paralimni, which is very different. And you have the crystal clear water, very different too. But also like on that side, it's so different.
It's also very nice. Yeah, La Chipolis area.
Very nice. The sea, it's wild. You have, isn't it? There is. It's a different feel everywhere you go, and it's
everywhere. I just love it. I couldn't agree more. I think we're really blessed. And I had another guest on this podcast, Nicholas Murray, who is a geologist, and he was on BBC lately for his work on Mercury, and basically understanding that Mercury was originally a bigger island, a bigger planet, and is a smaller one, and what we see is only the core. And he got that, or part of how his research unveiled, was coming to check the rocks in Cyprus, 5 minutes from the hotel, and realizing, because we're one of the only islands that we've come out of the water. So we are basically the core of the earth. That's what makes up the rock in Cyprus. So it's just amazing how my son was so excited about that episode. Everything that makes us different. So Harry Connick Jr. I mean, we cannot have a conversation without mentioning this iconic figure. Tell us the dirt. Tell us all about him.
I think he's what you see, when I've always loved him in films. I thought, God, he's a wonderful actor. But also, I mean, he's an incredible musician.
I couldn't agree more.
I mean, at the age of 19, he composed all the music for When Harry Met Sally. That's his soundtrack, all the songs, everything. He watched them act and he composed, he was 19 years old. He's incredibly talented, but also he's a wonderful actor, and he's the most wonderful human being. He is gentle, lovely, I mean, really wonderful and generous with everyone. And I think he's what you get the feeling of him when you see him on screen, and he is that. You can tell that he's a good man. He really is a good man, and he's a good family man as well. He's married. He's been married for, God, I think 35 years or something.
I know, he's like broken every Hollywood stereotype. He's been with his wife for like a million years and they have their family and they're happy and yeah.
His daughters came to Cyprus. Two of the daughters came to Cyprus with him, and they all loved it. Yeah, he's a
So nice.
very special man, and we were very lucky to have him do this film.
I know. I think we all were, and we're lucky to have you as well. So let's get deeper. Tell us about the kiss. Tell us about the kiss with Harry Connick Jr.
It's always, I know my children are going, oh. He's like, oh. And actually, what was fun is like, my friends are gonna watch that. My friends are gonna watch that. Oh, disgusting. And actually, what's fun is my nephew in Cyprus was watching the film, and he was absolutely. And then when the kiss came, he went, "Oh, I don't like this movie." And left.
Because they all know you and they can't even see you in a different role. They're just like, that's my auntie kissing a stranger. Like, that's gross, you know?
I know, that's gross. Why? Yeah. No, it's this thing that suddenly you go, hello, and now we're gonna have to kiss. It was fine.
Yeah.
It was,
oh my goodness. I don't think that's what he was aiming for. It was fine. The quote of the day, I think he was, it's wonderful, and he was the best kisser. And so his wife will be laughing now.
No, I think his wife was probably happy to go. It was fine. It was a job. It was
a job done. So what was your favorite part of the movie? Without a spoiler alert, if anyone hasn't seen it, which I doubt.
I think, God, most people would have seen it by now. Yes, without spoiling. God, I have so many fun things in the movie. I loved working with Leah, who played my sister. She's great fun. And my daughter, Ali. I mean, the most memorable thing for me was the first day, because it was my first day of filming, and I'm arriving at the house and I'm leaving the house, and it's getting light in the morning, and I open the door, I come out, and I turn and I look out at the view, and it's the sea and it's the land around. It's beautiful. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I am so lucky to be here. I'm getting paid to do this. Wow.
Yeah. How long did it take you, actually? How long did the movie take to film? I didn't ask Stellana that.
I think, God, how long? Just thinking about it. Did it take 6 weeks? Was it six weeks?
I don't know. I don't know if it was 6 or.
I think it was 5 weeks filming. God, I can't remember.
Imagine, it was just one beautiful blur. So how did you meet Stellana? Did you audition? How did that come about?
So I met Stellana in...
Stellana's the director, producer, founder, everything behind this movie, and she's been on Hotel Talk. The interview was amazing, so check that out as well. Yeah, so tell us about Stellana.
Anna, yes, she wrote the script. So we met initially in 2005, I think. I was in Patmos doing another rom-com with Matthew Modine.
Okay.
And Richard Griffiths. And she was a journalist in Athens and came to interview us and report on the film. And then 2019, I get this lovely email from her saying, I've written the script and I'm thinking of you for the lead part. Will you read it and say if you're interested? And also she sent me a copy of her first film, Committed, which is a lovely, sweet film for people to watch. It's a two-hander. It's very, very sweet, incredibly low budget, but very sweet film. So she sent it to me and I read it and I went, yeah, I'd love to do this. I love the way she writes. I mean, she writes beautifully. She has written the script, directed it, and produced it. She's an incredible woman. And I thought it's funny. So then we met again in Nicosia. I think, yeah, we met in the summer in Nicosia, and also I went in and she said, will you come and read a few scenes and I'll record you, and recorded me. And we did it. And she said, yes, I'd love you to do it. But in fact, what happened then, I knew I was going to do the film, but she said, listen, once the Americans get involved, I don't know, we'll see. I want, because originally it was there was only one American part, which was,
the main, male part.
An actor, and I was the lead actress. And so it was there was only one foreigner, and everyone else is from Cyprus. So when the Americans got involved, and it was the Christmas before we started filming, she wrote me a letter and said, I am fighting for you, but I don't know. I don't think we can get a Hollywood star without, his agents are refusing. He needs to act with a Hollywood actress. And I said, well, it is what it is. If I'm absolutely fine. Thank you so much. I mean, she was incredible. And so she wrote to me and said, I'm so sorry, but it's not going to work. We have to go with someone else. And I said, that's absolutely fine. Meantime, in May, when they started filming in Cyprus, I came to Cyprus for my cousin's 50th birthday. And so I was there, and then Stellana put a post that she was starting filming the film. So I sent her a message and said, congratulations, I am so thrilled for you. I hope it's a huge success. Enjoy the whole journey. And by the way, I'm in Cyprus for a few days. If you have a moment, I know you'll be very busy, but if you have a moment for a drink. And she said, oh, I'm very busy, but thank you. Then 2 days later, I get a call from her saying, can you come to Beja? Are you around? Are you still around? Can you come to Beja? I said, yes. There may be something or not. So it was the timing and everything. So I go to Beja. Meantime, she sends me the script again, and I'm reading it. And I'm reading the script, and also I'm reading that it has changed from when I read it. It was 2 years earlier, and then I'm reading it, and then I'm reading this scene where Harry sings this song to me, and that song my husband sang on our wedding day as a surprise to me.
No.
So I thought, oh my God,
all the stars were aligning.
It was the timing and the stars, and it's, so I'm thankful to the other actress that it didn't work out. I'm sending her all good vibes, and that I was there, and I went and I met Harry that night. I met the producers, and they said to me, would you do it, please? You were our first choice anyway, before it's still available. And I said, yes. So I started filming the next day.
Wow, you were just there and that's it. I'll delay coming back to England. And
no,
wow.
I was with a little, I came for 4 days. I was with a little tiny suitcase. So I had to go shopping. My husband came out with the kids for half term.
Oh my goodness, that's just incredible. What a story.
It was really a dream. Yeah.
And did you ever expect the movie to be the success that it was, or has been, or is?
Yeah. I mean, I thought, I don't know, there was a part of me that I thought this is a good film. And I enjoyed it, and I thought but I wasn't sure whether it's me because I'm in it and I see things, but I loved all the secret bits. I thought, God, you can imagine if it has the success of My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Yeah.
I thought this is a better film than that, in a way. I mean, that was,
that was amazing. And I think at the time it was fantastic, and it was funny, and it appealed to people more than just Greeks. It appealed to, I think, a lot of minorities, a lot of, Mediterranean, Middle Eastern cultures. But I
It
think
was,
this movie did as well, and I think that's why it worked. Yeah.
and because it shows there was so much authenticity, I think, of the
Mm.
Cypriot character. I love the scenes with the food. You get food
Yeah.
and it keeps coming. That
Yeah.
never stops. Food is so important, and
Mm.
family and people, and yeah, there was such lovely elements. But I wasn't expecting it to be so
Mm.
to be the number one everywhere. I mean, that I wasn't expecting that. I was hoping to be, make it to top 10, but yes, not this success. So I'm
It's
thrilled.
amazing. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, we're just all thrilled. I can't imagine you, because I'm just so happy for you all. I'm so happy for Cyprus. I think it's amazing. I think it's amazing. So, my dear, I ask everybody at the end of an interview for their favorite quote. Um,
Oh, yeah,
if
you
you've
did
got one, yes.
some.
It might be a saying that your mum says, or um, you know, a mantra that you live your life by, or just something you've read and you like.
Yes. Oh, okay. Let me try and say that. So, was it Confucius? I think who said that, or Aristotle? Actually, probably Aristotle and Confucius in different ways. But and actually, it's my father-in-law. It's his mantra of how to live our lives, and it's have someone to love. There are three things: have someone to love. You need something to work for, and the third one is do the best that you can for the best of others. I'm going to phrase
For the greater good of others.
for for the good of others as well. So do the best that I can in my best of my ability for the good of others. Have someone to love, which I think is really important. And what was the other one I said? Somehow
And do the best you can for others. I'm
have
trying to
something
look
to
up.
work for, have a goal. So have something you want to work towards. So that's the three things.
I love that. I'm trying to look it up, but I can't.
And I
I
will
can't
send
find it.
that to you. Let me send it to you on an email.
Thank
And
you, and I'll include it in
my,
the show
my
notes.
because my father-in-law, who is a social philosopher, Charles Handy, he's actually I'm in Norfolk here with him at the moment. Those were he lives his life based on Aristotle. Aristotle is his man, and the Stoics.
So it
And
was meant to be that he would have a Greek
so
Cypriot daughter-in-law.
he's always said that he did actually. He studied classics at Oriel at Oxford. So
Ah, I studied classics too. My
did
first
you?
degree. Yeah.
Yes. So he did. So we discuss on. He comes to me and speaks in ancient Greek, but of course they speak it differently here because it was who introduced ancient. It was what's his name? The Roman who brought ancient Greek to here was oh my God.
Was it Augustus? I don't know. He was.
No. Um, um, it was a Roman, and oh God, his name. Who brought the Greek. So the Greeks speak ancient Greek differently to how the English speak the ancient Greek. So we disagree on our pronunciation of ancient Greek.
Yeah,
And
I
I
had
keep
that when
saying,
I was studying classics as well. But the scholars, I won't say the British, but let's say scholars believe that, accents and how it was spoken was obviously very different to modern day Greek. Um, and that the in Greece, okay, they acknowledged that obviously it was very different, but it was actually more like Paphos, Cypriot Greek. Um, but
I mean,
yes, I was the only one in my class in England that was told off for the way I spoke Greek. And I just couldn't believe it. I was like, what? I'm the only one that can say it. And they were like, no, you have to do it again. It was because I was pronouncing it in modern Greek. And they were like, no, wrong. Yeah. Apparently.
Yeah. Well, I think in the academics, in Athens, in Greece, and in Cyprus say it differently to what they do it here. What's the name of the man? There are also scholarships that you can do. He was the one who's written everything. The Roman.
I laughed that the tip is erchome. They would say herchomai. And, and I'd be like reading it and I'd be like, but it's not. They'd go, no, say it properly. Herchomai. Like, okay then, if that's what you think, let's go with that. Okay, so bonus question. We pick, we get all the team at St. Raphael Resort and Marina are allowed to put any question that they want into a crystal bowl. And then every guest gets to pull one out, but we're doing it obviously over Zoom. So I have pulled one out of this crystal bowl for you. And I'm pretty sure this one must have come from the spa team, because the question is, what is your favorite spa treatment?
Oh, my favorite spa. Oh, I don't know. My favorite spa treatment, any spa treatment.
Anything that's in a spa, that's relaxing.
Just relax. I would love to start with a facial, head, head, full body massage.
Indian head massage.
Full body massage. Maybe full body massage first, then facial, and with head massage.
Oh,
cover me with things, and I'll just lie there.
I love it. I love it. You're making me want to go into the spa now. I'm going to cancel the rest of my day.
You have a spa.
I have it just below my office. I've got no excuse.
Oh my God.
Except, I don't frequent it as often as I should. Always excuses. Agni, thank you so much. This has been so much fun. I said it before we started recording, but you're stunning, even prettier than in movies, if I can say so. Not that you're not beautiful in movies too, but it's been really a great experience chatting to you, and I'm getting to hear more about your career, your life as a mother and a wife and as a professional, and of course, Find Me Falling. So I can't wait. I think this movie is an evergreen. We're going to watch it again and again. It's not something that we'll say, oh, we've seen that. It will be like My Big Fat Greek Wedding, and families will get together and watch it, every Christmas or every Easter, and just enjoy it. So thank you.
There's something for everyone. Thank you, Farah. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure. I can't wait to meet you in person.
Definitely. I'm waiting for you to come to Cyprus and come to the hotel.
I will. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button because it helps us more than you may realize. If you are planning on coming to visit us at St. Raphael Resort and Marina, feel free to email our reservations team quoting Hotel Talk and receive an exclusive offer just for you. We look forward to seeing you soon, hearing your feedback about our show, and producing many, many more interesting episodes just for you, our listener, and our valued guest in mind. Thank you so much, and take care.